Hey guys, I hope you've had a good week trading. I thought I'd do another video about Nate Bear and how he's trading in this new service called One Ticker Payouts or Profit Surge Trader. It's kind of both names, right? So you see it under Profit Surge Trader, and then here it says Start Trading One Ticker Payouts. And so basically it's just one ticker, one trade every week. Often it's more than one trade though, so often he'll give bonus trades which have been phenomenal. This week's actually 10x'd, so the bonus trade went up 10 times his value, which was crazy. It was really cool. And so they just lowered the price, and it looks like there's going to be a limited time deal on this for $179 for the year. And I can't recommend this highly enough. Like, this is an amazing, amazing service. Really, everything is working on it. Like, I think there's been one loss since I started this. And so I got a question recently from a guy who had previously traded with Nate at a different company, and he said Nate's like really, really great, and he's made a lot of money. He turned 37,000 into $2.7 million in 4 years. But then he said, "Well, this doesn't sound like his strategy. So how can we expect to get similar results?" And it's a really good question. And so what I found is I used to follow Nate years ago as well. Is what I found and I'm actually interviewing Nate in about 10 days from now, so I'm going to ask him more about this. But what I found by talking to his team, I haven't actually talked to him yet, is that he has combined his successful strategy, where he made all those millions of dollars, with his favorite method of trading on top of that. So he loves to play earnings, never holding through earnings, but basically if there's an earnings surge, like as the stock goes into earnings or right afterwards, where there'll be like a profit surge after, so both going into and out of earnings but never holding through earnings, combined with his awesome technical analysis or TPS system that he calls it. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a second, because kind of what I want to point out is this is earnings plays but not holding through earnings, but it's also combined with what he used to make this $2.7 million profit. So hopefully this is going to be a good example. It's not the best example. Like, today's trade was the best example I've seen. 10x'd in like a day, overnight. This one I'm going to show you was from a few weeks ago, and it kind of gives you an idea of how simple this is, but how powerful this particular trading strategy is. So I've written a review all about this guy and about the system, the one ticker payout system. I'll leave a link in the description and you can come here. I'm trying to keep a record of all the trades, so after they're closed, I'm happy to put them up on the site. I don't put them up when they're live though, so that wouldn't be fair for paying subscribers. I'm also putting all the videos I'm doing in here as well. And so you can see some of the tickers he did. I've taken screenshots talking about the different things, and all the good stuff. So I'll update this weekend with this last two trades. One of them's still open, so I'll probably just do the one bonus trade. I closed the one trade, but I don't want to give it away until he officially closes it. So the one trade I wanted to talk about, to give you an example of the TPS system that he's using in combination with the profit surge before or after earnings, is Microsoft. So this was January 3rd. And it's already up here it was one of the first trades of the new year. And so it was basically alerted on the 3rd, and he said, look, Microsoft has earnings at the end of January. And so we're looking to play those earnings, but not just because there's earnings, because not everything drifts up into earnings, right? But because of the particular pattern and the trend and the squeeze, TPS. So trend, pattern, and squeeze. And that's the system that has made him millions of dollars. So let's take a closer look at that. Look at the Microsoft chart. I pulled it up in a separate browser somewhere. Let's see. Is it here? This is where, by the way, in the dashboard, this is where he goes live every Monday to talk about why he's picking what he's picking, and people can ask him questions and stuff. This is the trades tab, so this is just showing you where it was. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for my other browser that I have open somewhere. Let's see, this one. Alright, hopefully you guys can see this. It's basically a trading view chart that he shows in his alerts. So in the dashboard you get this chart, as well as the buys and sells, like alerts and entries and all that. All right, so looking at this, this kind of answers the question. We have a strong uptrend, so there's the trend part of it. He calls this the woodpecker pattern. It's really what I'd call like a consolidation or a high flag, although it's not quite normal. Normally you'd have like a straight flagpole and then a sideways, but I guess it's like a rough kind of flag. He calls it woodpecker. He does it a lot. You'll see this over and over again, where it kind of spikes up and has this little spike here and then a beak, I guess. So this is what he posted on the day that he gave the alert to buy. And so he said, look, I'm buying the 2nd of February $400 calls. I'm looking for a run higher into earnings at the end of January. Note that will not hold through earnings. That's a huge mistake that a lot of people do. People like Nate, though, are, they don't do that. So he basically said this: there's so many squeezes on the different patterns. If you're not familiar with the squeeze, you can look it up and research it for yourself, but you can see the squeeze down here. We're squeezing right, or we were right here. And so he's combining the pattern, the potential earnings surge, and the squeeze all combined. And the timing of where this is, you can see it's at a rising support, right? So really nice looking trade. And look what happened. So I plotted this out. These blue lines are equivalent to the yellow lines that you're seeing here. I'll show you where the entry was. It was about here, where my cursor is. And sure enough, we're seeing this big surge up, exactly as he predicted, kind of thing. And this little E down here is for earnings, so earnings are right here. So obviously, if you're still in this trade, you'd want to be exiting. I don't have the squeeze plotted here. He plotted it on his down the bottom here. And so this all combined is really powerful, and he is a master at it. So I highly recommend, if you're interested in this style of trading. This was only a week or 2 weeks or something, swing trade. Sometimes they happen overnight, sometimes they take a couple of weeks depending on the trade. This was particularly unusual in that it's a pre-earnings run-up rather than a post-earnings surge, which is what the service is focusing on. And that's just the time, like the time of year, really. And all these things have to align. We have to have the trend, the pattern, the squeeze, and the earnings coming up or just happened. Preferably just happened seems to be what he primarily does, but then the ones we've been doing recently have been run-ups into upcoming earnings, just because that's the season that we're in. Well, look at this thing, it's still powering up, so really nice. So that's the woodpecker pattern for you. You've been interested in that. So I'm going to post this video in here just so that people can see. I think I explained it a little bit in the review, but be interesting. So yeah, so at the moment this is by far my favorite buy side, like buying options service. It's such great value at $179. I'll leave a link in the description below where you can get this. I don't know how long they'll keep it at $179. It seems ridiculously low. I think they could easily get $1,000 or something, maybe $1,500 for this service. Like I said, there's very few losses. It's very easy to follow. Often you can wait and get a better price than Nate does on a lot of these things. So it's pretty exciting. So yeah, one thing was with Microsoft, the $400 calls were right here. And they're now trading at $8.95, $9. And so if you look back at his original price, let's see where that is. Did he put them on here? No, they're in the dashboard. That's right. Let's see what. I guess I put them on here as well. So they were $3, so they've nearly tripled in price. Now you can see that he did close this very early, so he doesn't get greedy. So he just lets them get these moves where it's like his win rate is at least 85%. So even though this is surged, he didn't know it was going to continue to, triple. So he took 35%. So I like that about him, because he gets these good base hits just over and over and over, which really helps. If you're more confident, you can scale out and hope that you get a triple like that. But most of the time you can build an account pretty quickly. If you're winning 30, 40, 50%, over and over and over again with very few losers. So pretty cool. So like I said, this is my favorite. This one ticker payout system, Profit Search Trader. Definitely my favorite buy service. So people that are looking to buy options. However, if you're looking to sell options for premium, that's something else that I've been doing a lot of recently, and doing pretty well in my Tasty Trade account with that. I've been taking all of Theta Traders, so Lance from Theta Traders does these safeguard trades and all this good stuff. You can go to the website and check it out. I mainly do the future stuff, but you can do a whole bunch of other things as well, which is pretty interesting. So we do oil. I've been doing a lot of oil recently, so I don't know if I still have my broker open. I can show you positions. So I put on one today. It's down a little bit because oil pulled back. But this is my profit and loss year to date, and it's only the 19th of January, and we're at 1866, so nearly $2,000 in January so far, just doing oil, ES, and gold. So really fun. This one here is a losing trade, but it's primarily because it's actually a hedge. So this is a hedge that I had as part of a bigger part of the trade. So I really don't lose any of these, but you may lose on the hedge part, which, you know, is expected and kind of hoped for. So anyway, yeah, check out thetatraders.com. I think you'll really enjoy it. Really steady, consistent income. And suits bigger accounts probably better, just because the returns are not 100% or 10x or anything like that you see with Nate Bear stuff. But they're steady and they're very, very passive, which is always good. So you can have that kind of going on in the background. Also, you take someone like Nate Bear's more crazy trades. So yeah, check the links in the description below, and I'll talk to you guys soon.